Check. What is up? Looks like the women literally just finished. Looks like we had an upset. Jennifer Valente. They're saying that's not official yet, but there was a 4-up breakaway. Jennifer Valente, Alexis Ryan, Skylar Schneider, Emily. I lost her last name now, but it was basically 2-on-2 with Legion, and Legion finally got rolled. So interesting stuff in the women's race. I have got results from the men's race right here. Let's take a look at, or from the men's races, sorry, races plural. Let's take a look at those. We got points for the whole. Here we go. We got points for the whole series. Maybe I'll make these a little bigger while we're getting the men staged and called up here. So this is Pro Men Hateville. I'm going to go over to the series points because that's what we're really after. Here's the men standing for the series, for SpeedWeek Series after 2 races. We got Alfredo Rodriguez from Best Buddies, number 1. Gibbons is 2 for 2 on second places. Clever Martinez holding down third. Pretty tight gaps point-wise between all these guys. I'm going to see if I can turn this down in my headphones a touch. Probably, yeah, that's cool. Ty Magner in 4th, Brian Gomez from Best Buddies in 5th, Danny Estevez in 6th, Frank Travieso from Blazers. So Blazers got 3rd place and 7th place. Sebastian Cano. So SoFlo, I think, is the team that basically Amino Rip has become SoFlo. So those South Florida guys, their team is called SoFlo now rather than being Amino Rip is what it was the last couple of years. But I think that's like basically the same squad, maybe with a different title sponsor. Connor Saley also making it into the top 10 overall there. Going back to the individual results. So one thing I noticed that was interesting. So from Spartanburg, got Alfredo Rodriguez, top 5, Alfredo Rodriguez, Thomas Gibbons, Clever Martinez, Ty Magner, Connor Saley. Then in Hapeville, we got Alfredo Rodriguez, Thomas Gibbons, Brian Gomez in 3rd, Ty Magner in 4th. Brian Gomez in 4th, Ty Magner in 5th, Clever Martinez down here in 6th. Local guy Brock Mason in 7th. Extremely consistent though, right here and right here. Rodriguez and Gibbons are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to make sure that I am. So we're doing interview for the women's race right now. It looks like the men are getting, you can see Frank Travieso right here getting lined up. I think they're going to do call-ups for everybody who is top 10, I believe, in those races as we get going here. I'm just making sure that I am actually good and live and, double checking everything I've got going on here. So yeah, Jennifer Valente, looks like Team 2024 finally did it. They have been trying to scheme a way to knock Legion off the top of the podium. A little bit different of a race tonight. I should get into the course. Let's take a look at this course and I'll talk through. So break of 4 in the women's race, which was a little different than what we've seen a lot this season. We've seen a lot of bunch gallops. I guess more in the men's than in the women's, but across the board. Okay, let's take a look. All right, we'll see who gets a call up, and while we're doing that, I will get the course pulled up here so we can take a look at that too. Here is the course. Let's take a look at that. All right, so we got the start finish right here. Turns 1 and 2 are pretty bog standard, nothing huge there. I think where this course gets crazy is right down here. Corner 3, it's actually downhill and a little bit. This doesn't count as a turn, I don't think. It's just a kind of slight bend to the right, but we got this slight bend to the right here, and that is downhill into a greater than 90-degree turn 3. And then it's pretty much uphill to turn 4, and then that is about a 250 or 300-meter sprint to the line that is flat, but after two pretty intense turns there. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the course for this one. Let's see where we're at on the call-ups for the top 10s. Frank Travieso from Blazers coming up. I should get my I should pull my chat up here, huh? I'm gonna get my chat ready so I can see. I realized I don't even have that window open, so hopefully I'm not getting a ton of chat messages coming through already. Sorry, I'm scrambling a little bit. A lot of streaming this weekend, but I am set up now. We're good to go. Magner has been so consistent this week. Looks like he got the farthest left. Nope, Martinez got the farthest left spot as we're looking at it right there on the board. On the front line there, but Magner has been incredibly consistent this week. This whole front line, all these guys have been so consistent. Looks like maybe they're making room for yeah. they're gonna make room for Gibbons on the front row there. I guess they're going 10 deep across the front. Man, so Thomas Gibbons, I think last night was his. He has had so many second places in a row. I know he's dying for a win. It really looked like last night could have been the night. Incredibly impressive racing from Gibbons to a breakaway got away without him. His team, shout out to Automatic, they did a great job of getting that gap down to a manageable time. And then Gibbons actually went across the gap solo without dragging anybody with him, got into that move, and then sprinted for second from there. So that was huge. Huge ride from him. Not the way I know. I say I know. I think that he wants a field sprint, but and maybe sort of even has engineered the team to be a field sprint team with the knowledge of how Legion was running these races last year. Legion was not going to let anything but a field sprint happen, basically. And now, he's racing this sort of like diminished Legion squad. Legion just has 3 guys. I did read that perhaps the second half of the week, so I'm not sure if they would be coming out for the midweek races or if they would just be here for the stuff that's happening next weekend. Athens Twilight, most notably. But Legion may have some more riders for the second half of SpeedWeek. I think I read that on Velo News or something today, an article about SpeedWeek. So that could also be interesting. Legion hasn't gotten a win. They're 0 for 2 on wins. Best Buddies is 2 for 2. Here we go. Let's see. We still got like Texas Roadhouse has been pretty much shut out. Butcher Box has been pretty much shut out of major results. We'll see if either of them can get it together, if they're going to start racing a little bit more aggressive. We'll see if Automatic is going to start taking up pace setting from the beginning, or if they want to start sending people up the road early. Looks like we still got pretty good attendance for this. I think SpeedWeek attendance always kind of dips in the middle, but yeah, it looks like we got a good, solid, healthy field. 60, 70 guys here, top quality riders. And I think that is Gibbons going straight to the front. Yep, that's Gibbons for sure. Blue bike, the clean shaven Gibbons has been throwing me off this year. And I miss last year he was wearing these highlighter yellow gloves that made it super easy to spot him. Um, oh, you guys in the chat, let me know everything sound okay, look okay on your end. Tried to do a little preview just to make sure, but it's always weird. I can't hear what you're hearing because I'm here in the room. Ooh, not not the best camera angle there. Sweet. Thank you for that. I can do that, Tom. I can do that. Check, check, check. Okay, that's a little louder. Maybe that's too loud. Go up on the mic a touch. Sweet. Thanks. Glad to hear it. You're watching on Twitch. Twitch tends to be a little bit crispier live quality, but part of why I'm doing this is just I know that people, myself included, if they know there's a race on, we're going to Twitch, going to YouTube, and just searching for the name of the race. And if it's not there, I assume that it doesn't exist. So not sure. Okay, this guy in the blue in what looks like the UAE Rudy Project helmet was in the break yesterday. Sick. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, Ben, do you know if Rob from our team raced today? I think he's out here, or maybe he's at a different race. I don't know. I saw his partner posted a picture of him sitting in a folding chair at a race. I don't know if he's just supporting her or if he raced somewhere today, but Alex from our team had a big win today in Cuba, Alabama road race. So that was cool. I wish that we were out here at Speed Week, but just wasn't in the cards. You know, got Aldo Ilsek setting pace, it looks like. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that sucks for Rob. Damn. I guess I can't complain too much about this if his back is maybe going to take him out. That's a bummer. I was able to do about 9 or 10 hours on the trainer this week, so pretty happy with that. Honestly, being like, the beginning of this week being 1 week out from a major injury, broken wrist and knee and stuff. So they had Aldo. Automatic had Aldo setting pace early, but they're not super. It looks like no team has really taken full control on the front. I'm not sure when they're going to call the early preems here. I know in American Crit Cup this year, they are calling preems 7 laps in, directly in the middle of the race, and 7 laps to go. I think Speed Week they're doing the preem setup a little bit different. Ben, knee is it still hurts. Basically, it hurts every time over the top of the pedal stroke, just a little bit. It's more annoying than painful at this point. But it could be worse for sure. I think that part of it is that I have to keep a bandage over the kneecap to keep that scrape from getting infected, and because of that, I can't bend my knee a ton. So I think riding the trainer is actually helpful for the knee because I'm consistently bending it. Yeah, no problem, Rodriguez. Appreciate you guys watching. I mean, I've said it before. I'm gonna watch these races either way, and I've got this whole setup for streaming Zwift and stuff, so I enjoy it. Um, I think Ben that it feels like a tendon. So I think my IT band got super tight from the crash, from crashing on that side, and then it kind of like pulled my whole knee out of whack. So like the outside IT band is pulling my whole knee to the outside, and I kind of can't really tell if it's the gash itself or something on the inside. But I got my next appointment. The doctor gave me some exercises to do, and I'm gonna do those, and then she's gonna check back with me next time I go. Okay, we got a points preem here. Points preem on this lap. Not a ton of points. I believe he said 10 points for first, which like let's go back to the results here. Let's look at what those point gaps are, but I believe they were not huge point gaps between the guys, especially in the top five. But it is a lot of points, but not huge gaps. Let's see. Let's see who wants the points. I feel like at this point Gibbons could give a shit about the overall. He wants to get a win. He's been gunning for an individual race win for a long time. I could be wrong. I think he is gunning for the overall of the American Crit Cup, but I don't think he cares as much about I don't think he cares as much about the Speedweek win. Clever Martinez going for it. Looks like Best Buddies is not content to just let him have it. So we'll see what we get here across the line. Looks like Clever got it. And then looks like Hernandez right behind him. Sebastian Cano up there. Still in the Amino Rip jersey. I guess their new team, SoFlo Racing, doesn't have new kits yet. So he's still in that Amino Rip jersey. But all three of them got points, all of the top five. So points went all the way down to Julio Padilla. Ian Garrison also picked up some of those for Legion. Good counter from ButcherBox here. All right, this is what I was expecting to see from ButcherBox is them trying to put some long bombs up the road consistently throughout the race. They've basically been shut out of the results the whole thing. Scott, I've been so focused on Speedweek that I've really just been catching Redlands updates like from people I follow's Instagram. If you guys know Cormac McGeough, he raced with Restart Racing, my Zwift team, for a minute in 2020. I know he was out there with Wildlife Generation, so I've been catching some of what's going on from him, some of what's going on from the Project Echelon guys. My takeaway, I think, is that Project Echelon is going really good this season, and they could potentially be a Legion killer if their goals overlap enough that like Legion and Echelon end up sending both of their A squads to races together. I think that could actually be a good head-to-head matchup. I would love to see ButcherBox being more aggressive today. I feel like this is there's still a lot of racing to go. So there's races on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is race 3 of a 7-race series. But this is kind of last chance saloon for the big weekend one, and ButcherBox has sort of been shut out, and you really don't know. It's like they don't have a sprinter that is good enough to go toe to toe with. I feel like probably 6 of the 10 best sprinters are here today. Oh, I did see this is probably an update that the YouTube people want to hear. I saw Chris Tolley. It looks like he cracked a rim yesterday in that early crash in Hapeville, and cracked a rim and was looking for a spare wheel today. So hopefully he was able to get one from neutral. Yeah, I think ButcherBox is kind of struggling. I'm not sure if the turnover they had was like they had a lot of turnover, and I'm not sure how much of it was intentionally them trying to change their lineup, and how much of it was guys kind of moving to greener pastures. I can imagine that at least for Saley, like I know that ButcherBox is fairly well supported for an American crit squad, very well supported, but I think that Blazers' level of sponsorship and support and organization was maybe a little bit higher, and then going to a team where he's racing with names like Martinez and Travieso, that's probably enticing to him. So I would imagine that it seemed to me like that team was kind of based around Movinzada and him, and they lost him, so now they're kind of having to rethink. Okay, he's women's podium. Skylar Schneider and Alexis Ryan, Jennifer Valente with the win for 2024. They finally did it. It was an interesting. It was a good finale. Legion tried to do the set it up, lead out 1-2, and Valente just got around him. Pretty awesome finale there. I'm gonna scroll down the list of results here and just see if I see anything the points, I mean, I'm going to pull those points back up and let's take a look at them. So I think what's interesting is these gaps are so small on the points. Can you guys see my cursor? I guess you can't see my cursor. How about, yeah, there's my cursor. So from Rodriguez to Gibbons, that is only a 16-point gap, which one of those points preems is worth 10. So these guys are a couple of points preems away from each other, which would be crazy if it, or it could be crazy if Gibbons started scooping up all of the preem points and pulled ahead based on preems alone. But yeah, all these gaps in the top 5, 10, these are pretty bridgeable. Like all it would take is one of these guys having a bad race and one of these guys having a good race, and this could change up a little bit. Although I said it again, but these guys have been so consistent. I mean, the top two have been literally exactly the same. Alfredo Gibbons, Alfredo Gibbons. So really, really consistent racing from those dudes. Yeah, NGCA is racing super strong. I having to race with those guys locally at all of the like South Alabama and Florida stuff. I know that their level is really high. I feel like they're maybe a little bit underrated. Um, okay, that's turn 3. That is the quote unquote death turn. It is downhill into a greater than 90-degree turn, and then it's immediately back uphill. So not only is it a little bit hairy because you're gaining speed on the downhill going into a super sharp turn, but it's also crucial how much speed you carry through that turn because you're going immediately into an uphill. Spencer Movanzada, is that who you're asking about? He's still on Butcher Box, so they did not lose him, but he's just like the only. I guess maybe Oliver Flout is like their other kind of star guy this year, but I think that losing a major star was a big blow for them, and they had a few other guys that they were kind of like rolling off. It seems like they just haven't fully like gelled as a team yet. I don't think they have anybody at Redlands though. I was gonna say maybe they'll have some turnover, some different guys. I think you are allowed to have a certain amount of like you can only field 6 riders for each race, but as a team, those could be different 6 riders. I think up to a point, like maybe up to 10 or something. If you so one squad from Butcher Box could do weekend 1 of Speed Week, and then another few guys could tag in for that second bit. Here we go. There's Fergus, Arthur, Fergus, Arthur. Literally not sure, can't remember which way that is flipped, but big mustache, Texas Roadhouse, been on the scene for a long time. I was talking about him yesterday, and we didn't really see him, but here he is. Maybe he just got caught out a little bit by how early that big breakaway went. Yesterday's racing was pretty aggressive, and I wouldn't have. Ooh, big split. Got a ride bikes rider on the wrong side of it. Not sure if that's totally. Not sure if he got a wheel. Ride bikes did have one other rider who raced both of those days. Wolfgang Brandl had a good result. I'll go back. I'll pull that up. Brandl for Skyline had a really good result in day 1. He was right here, 10th. Nope, 11th. No, 10th. That's confusing. That's column 1. That's the actual place. So yeah, Brandl was 10th on Spartanburg day 1. Good result for him. Good result for Skyline. Skyline seems like they don't really focus on these crits as much. They kind of want to be more of a stage race team, but there just are so many crits. Okay, word. So maybe that is totally. I wonder if Ride Bikes might be another squad that has more guys come out just for the second weekend. The history of Blazers, yeah, they did come out of nowhere. Blazers is basically like an all-star team that formed. I think Blazers is basically a response to Legion, which in my mind validates like what Legion was saying about about how they wanted to build their squad and how they wanted to raise the level of competition in America by making a more professional squad that focuses on crit racing. Um, I think Blazers is a team that said, like, if we want to compete with them, we need to get on that level. So a bunch of guys who had been racing, like Frank Travieso had been, like, quote unquote kind of retired for a few years, but you would always see him popping up at races, and like he won San Rafael. He won this race last year, I believe, but he definitely won. This race was not, it might have been on SpeedWeek, but this is not one of the big ones. I don't think it had a stream last year or anything. A little bit more under the radar, but Travieso also won San Rafael when that was on the USA Crits calendar pretty recently. But he had been racing for like kind of a local team, and a bunch of these guys who were on Blazers were kind of under teamed last year. Clever Martinez was on Rockland Velo, which was a team I didn't know anything about, and didn't really see much from the other guys that were on that team other than him. And he was always kind of freelancing in the sprints and stuff. Looks like we got a little bit of a sit up. Speaking of Blazers, it looks like they're on the front, but don't necessarily want to be kind of looking around right now. But yeah, I think Blazers was a bunch of guys who all realized, like, on their own little teams, they were not going to be able to compete with Legion. But if they kind of pooled all of their resources and then use some of the hype that Legion has created around this style of racing to pitch to some sponsors, and they were able to get Canyon on board, able to get Rafa on board, and yeah, it seems like they're pretty well supported, and a first year team, so not quite as well drilled as a Legion, but a ton of talent on that team. I know Johnny Brown was on Action Haggis Berman, which is like Axel Merckx's team a few years ago when he won the Pro Road Nats. I don't think Action. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Action survived the 2020 no race year. I think they might have been a casualty of that. I hope I'm wrong about that, because that Action team has developed a ton of talent in America, but I think I might be right about that. We got a Velo Brew rider up there. I think that might be Owen Schott, who I've raced with a bunch. Oh, I did see a guy I want to shout out here, Hank Baver from, I believe it's Baver. I'm not sure how Hank's last name is pronounced, but he's an Atlanta guy that I've raced cross with a bunch. But he was 30 something last night, like 32nd, which was like a little bit better than mid pack, which huge result for that dude. That's a guy I've battled a lot in the cross races in Georgia. Kind of surprised we're not seeing guys just snapping, trying to get some gaps here. Okay, Action. Are they still called Action Haggis Berman, or did they just lose Action as a title sponsor? Maybe that's what I saw, is that Action was dropping their sponsorship and they're just called Haggis Berman now. That's also confusing because there was the Haggis Berman Supermint team on the women's side that did fold in the last few years, but it's cycling, so everything is like so incestuous. There's like the same few guys. Sebastian Cano setting pace on the front for some reason. He's got no teammates. All right, here goes. I believe that's Garrison. Yeah, Ian Garrison going to the front, drilling it. Yeah. I think that team has a different name this year, but yeah, Hank has traditionally been on that specialized BMW, sometimes presented by Lightspeed team. Looks like we're getting podiums for some of the. I did not watch this race. I think this was like the women's 3-4 or something. So sorry, can't give you any insight on that one. Okay, word. Going to Maryland Classic with Legion and Yolio. Cool. All right, I guess I just have not kept up with Action, but I'm glad they're still going. Because that team has done a lot for racing in America, developing guys like Johnny, and there were several teams that didn't make it. Like Hincapie's elite squad didn't make it. Hincapie only has a development squad now. CCB, I believe, didn't make it also through the last couple of years of limited racing. Uh, I forget who that is on the front there. Uh, looks like did Garrison get a gap and I've just missed him? We got all the usual suspects hanging out around the front. Travieso, Saley, Johnny Brown, all the guys I've been talking about are kind of hanging out in the front, and I think we're probably going to start seeing some fireworks here pretty soon. I think the pace has been high for a good while. Looks like Best Buddies is trying to kind of mob up on the front. I wonder if they're going to kind of set a tempo and let one of their riders roll off the front. Looks like that might be what they're looking at doing. Looks like Butcher Box is looking at getting back in position as well. Yeah, I think you're right about that. CCB, I know CCB, like they were making a big play to for that men's squad to mostly race in Europe a couple of years ago, and I think 2020 they had invested a lot in that, and then the year of no racing kind of put the kibosh on that. I'm not totally trusting the top middle top 10 coming through there. It's not squaring with what I'm seeing coming across the line every single time, but chip timing is like that sometimes. We are seeing just the names you'd expect. Garrison Brown, Danny Estevez, they're all hanging out up there close to the front, which makes me think that the pace continues to be pretty high, and at some point someone is going to get tired and let a wheel go, and we're going to see the elastic snap. Maybe see someone get tired toward the front. Here we go. Looks like Blazers is sending somebody up the road. Forgive me, I cannot identify that dark silhouette going through the death corner, but we'll see if they can actually. It seems like no one's been able to break it so far. What I am noticing is a distinct lack of automatic jerseys anywhere near the front. I haven't seen. That was the first automatic jersey I've seen, and that was mid pack back through the field. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if automatic is on the back foot a little bit or what. Looks like that might be the Emmanuel Iberi second bike team doing some chasing there. Sorry, I need to just take this off. I'm hearing them like calling podiums on the stream, and I'm trying to pay attention to this. Yeah, Gibbons was back like behind more than halfway back in the field. That might be them betting on the fact that this is not going to split early, but that has not been their move in the last couple of days. I don't think I talked to them on Instagram, and I don't think they lost anybody to any of the crashes we've seen. But I think I'm also only seeing like three of them. Oh, it looks like Caleb Landgrebe won another race. That's unsurprising. I think that was probably the 2-3 podium we were seeing for a second there. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you had showed me this best buddies lineup and said who is the leader for this weekend, I mean, obviously they're all strong, but I would not have picked Rodriguez out of it. I wonder if this was, like Rodriguez, this is them kind of giving him a chance to be the leader. I wonder if they're kind of passing the baton around this season, or if maybe they know something we don't know, and he put up some insane numbers, and he's just on one right now, so they're working for him. No idea. But it's also not like he's had like a Justin Williams style like armchair ride to the finish where he's got the best team in the world leading him out. I mean, Best Buddies is great and they've been going really well, but it hasn't been that precise like well-oiled machine just delivering him to some easy sprint finish wins. He's been having to go head to head with guys in some scrappy weird finishes, and he's pulled it off. So kudos to him, I guess. I don't know. Um, I think that rider on the front is national champion of somewhere, but he's actually on Blazers. Um, but that's I can't see the jersey well enough to see what that nationality is. Maybe if he comes through still on the front, I'll be able to tell who he is in that the top 10 in the middle there. That is super helpful. I think the race today should be about an hour and change, it looks like, from where we're at. The announcer just called 25 laps to go, but I'm seeing 23 up here. I should actually, with that in mind, how about this? That looks a little bit better. Sorry, I put the chat there before we had a lap counter. That's a little bit cleaner. Okay, Aldo Ilsek's moving into position. He's up there for automatic. So maybe they realized. I would assume that they have radios. I don't know if they also have a DS here. Belize. I think you might be right there. Oasis. Can anybody tell me that rider's name? Is that Josiah Kelly? That's someone I don't know much about. Maybe that's because he's been racing mostly in Belize. So I mostly know about the American dudes. I do think this turn into the hill is going to start taking its toll. I wonder if we're not going to see. We may already be seeing it, but I'm just not watching the back as much. But just attrition off the back and this continuing to split down and split down. Here we go. Looks like we got SoFlo Racing making a move. Butcher Box trying to get there. I believe that is Sebastian Cano on the attack. Julio Padilla, I don't know anything about him, but he was in the break yesterday riding super strong right there on the front. Blue kit, helmet that looks like one of those Rudy Project, the UAE, like yellow to orange sunburst helmet. He's riding super strong. Don't know anything about him. He might be one of the South American riders that's here. They got too many. These guys, they want a smaller move than that, I think. Seems like Sebastian Cano is pretty happy to just continue going pretty hard, though. And he's created a gap in the corner just by taking it. He seems very comfortable in that corner, so he wants to be close to the front just so he's not having to brake for other people. Seemed like they were ready to sit up, and then just by taking that corner pretty well, the field is still kind of in shambles. Mid race preem right now. I believe this is a cash preem. Nope, point sprint. All right, so looking at the points, this could okay, sweet. Thank you, Hector. What's up, Wattstar? Welcome. Thank you for the info, Hector. Okay, cool. So is Optics Deluxe like a what level are they, like a UCI team or like a domestic elite team? Forgive me, I don't know as much about the South American scene. If there's a way to find out about some of those races, I would be into watching it, though. It seems like there's some good aggressive racing down there. Ooh, looks like we got Brock Mason, local hero, made the break yesterday. Big tall guy in the white kit from Atlanta, racing for Flickr Hub Bikes. It looks like he's tacked on to the back of this move. Oh, no, maybe he's no, he's still there. They got a little separation. Blazers is not going to let that happen, though. Sweet. Panama. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of good early. I'm seeing a lot of these teams making a pilgrimage down to some of that early season racing in South America. What bike do I ride? I ride I have a lot of bikes, as most bike racers do, but for crits and road stuff, I have a Cannondale CAD 13, which just survived a crash, and that is why I ride a CAD 13. Yeah, Cannondale CAD 13, some Chinese carbon wheels, and an Ultegra 105 mix group set, and I love it. It's like 16 pounds, fairly aero. Yeah, are you watching on? If you're not watching on YouTube, go over to my YouTube. I've got a video from a gravel race I did about a month ago. I raced gravel on my Trek Boon, though, which is a cyclocross bike with canties, but it's 17 pounds with pedals on. It's way lighter than anything else, and most of the gravel racing around here is extremely pitchy. So I love having the lighter bike for that. But yeah, I race a little bit of everything. A little bit of gravel, a little bit of cyclocross. Actually, a little bit of gravel, a little bit of mountain bike, a lot of cyclocross, a lot of road, um, little bit, a lot of e-racing sometimes. Okay, nice. I have seen some of Charlie Carb's cycling content, not any of the stuff about the South American racing. So I'll hop over there and watch the Tour of Colombia. I want to go ride in Colombia. It seems really cool. I-9 stuff is really good. It's nice, but it's expensive. So I feel like expensive stuff is almost always good. Like Envies are great, Zips are great. They are better than cheaper things, but it's diminishing returns at a certain point. I've got multiple sets of ICANN Chinese carbon wheels that are probably 98% as good performance and a lot cheaper to replace when you get wrecked out in a crit. So that's my logic for running them. There may be, I may be losing 2 seconds over 40K on the aero performance, but lightness wise, they're fine. And I own a truing stand. So ICANN cycling, ICAN. I got 3 sets of them. I need to do a YouTube video about that. Ooh, we got a big split here. All right, I got to take stock of who all's made this one. We got Alfredo Martinez, Alfredo Rodriguez, Clever Martinez. They're looking around. I think that's Clever on the front with the camera on his head right above me here. Brock Mason is there. Yeah, big split, but they're not pushing it, which is huge. Huge for Automatic because I don't think Automatic has anybody up here in contact. They may be all in on Automatic may be all in on this being a sprint finish, and they're going to save most of their bullets to get Tom to the sprint finish. Um, the Hunt wheels are really good. I think those are a good value. Dude that was on my previous team, road team shift, had a set of Hunt wheels. Yeah, everybody's looking around. There's a split in the field. If these guys pushed, okay, it looks like we do have one. I think that's maybe Aldo Ilsek from Automatic in this move here. The Hunt wheels are very good. They're good value. I think they're a step between like a Zip or an Envy and a Chinese carbon. They're kind of like right in the middle there. But I've known a few people who've had them IRL and they're really good. Well, Andrew, there were 3 races. This is race 3 of a 7-race series, and so far, Best Buddies Racing is winning with Alfredo Hernandez, who's gone 2 for 2, and Thomas Gibbons is from Automatic Racing is 2 for 2 on second places. So that's who's winning from a points standpoint right now in this race. Looks like we got Oliver Flout from Butcher Box going pretty hard here. I think that's Oliver Flout. We'll see when he comes through, but he's not snapping that hard here. Joe, I would spend that probably on one set of, if we're talking about a road setup, I would spend it on a set of the nicest wheels ICANN makes, which is about $760. A really nice set of tires, so like a GP 5000 with latex tubes, or set those up tubeless. That would eat up the better part of $1,000, but some 25s that are going to set up really even an arrow on there. I think that is going to get you the most speed for the least money. If you got anything left, I would buy a nice race suit, a nice tight skin suit, short sleeve with 2 pockets, 3 pockets on the back. You get those things, that's going to net you the most speed for the money, I think. We keep getting splits, and then the guys at the front continue looking around. If your belly sticks out, that's all the more reason for a skin suit, I think. People are afraid to wear something tight if they don't have the perfect body. Aero is aero, and the tightness of the skin suit is going to suck that in a little bit for you. Yeah, I have 3 sets of icans. I would show you, but they are in they're below, they're in the crawl space. They're not, I thought I might have had a set sitting right here, but yeah, I've got 3 sets of icans. One set of the cheapest ones they make that I train on now, and then 2 sets of their kind of the mid-level, the Aero series. And I love them. I just ordered another set of the 55s. Andrew, racing with no shirt on. I think you would still have to pin the number to something. I think that's where they would get you. You could maybe glue it on. Maybe you could draw it on like triathlon style. Joe, I get them directly from ICANN, from the ICANN website. If you go to the ICANN website, you can look up what they've got in the US based warehouse and get them shipped from there, and then you get free shipping on that, and then you're dealing directly with the company rather than with any middlemen. But they've always been great for me. They've come in Sebastian Cano is going for it. He's on one tonight, and he could realistically move up pretty high in the standings if he gets a good. Let's see where he's sitting in the overall. He's going solo. I don't think this is gonna stick solo, but it's see where he's at. Okay, Sebastian Cano is 8th right now. This guy who's off the front, he is sitting 8th here in the overall points right now, 387. So a win right now would be pretty huge for him. I mean, he's kind of goading these guys to cover him, and it looks like we got a cover from, this might be Owen's shot. Rinaldi, I've got a set of prime Aero handlebars over here that I'm gonna put on my bike. Clearly I've had a crash, trashed some handlebars, but yeah, I think he wants somebody to go with him. It looks like, I think, well, let's see who this is from Velo Brew. But I think Owen Schott is the only Velo Brew guy I know who's racing here. This might be someone else though. I think Schott has some national champ stripes, and I'm not seeing national champ stripes here. 14 Garza, 14 laps left. We're a little over halfway. This is about the point where we saw a break go yesterday. Ooh, hot line on that corner. That was this could stick. These guys are committed. They got together. So it looks like we got Sebastian Cano. Let's see. See who all we got in this breakaway. Sebastian Cano, Forrest Howard, don't know who that is. Brian Gomez, Joshua Kelly, Kyle Perry, and that's it. And then it looks like we got Aldo chasing behind for Automatic. So Automatic's got nobody here. Automatic definitely wants a field sprint. They definitely want to set Thomas Gibbons up. Looks like we got to see who comes through. We got to see this leaderboard change when they come through this time. Butcher Box missed it. Texas Roadhouse missed it. Automatic missed it. So they are all chasing. Let's see who we got here. That's a big group. Is it too big to work? Is that a David? Is that a what are those called? Montici bike? I think that might be the sponsor of the SoFlo team. I think that's how you say it, Montici. I think I looked into that one time. I couldn't find out anything about that company. They look cool with those Princeton Carbon Works rims, and they've got the rear stays that kind of go way out, kind of like that Hope track bike that was so crazy. Andrew, how's the new bike? Andrew built up a new bike today. Yes, thank you. That's I'm not sure I was pronouncing it right, but that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, they didn't. That move was too big. It was there were too many guys there, and there were some passengers, and they couldn't get a good rotation going. I think this course is just a little bit too technical for a big move to get away. In the women's race, we saw a move of 4 get some distance, and that was the right number. They could roll turns with 4 and keep it pretty well organized. Andrew, if there's a fixed crit next year at Hammerfest, I'm gonna ask you to borrow it so I can race the fixed crit. I'll just put some drops on it. But I do not have a race ready oh, okay. Montagy is just rebranded WinSpace. Interesting. Good to know. I mean, that's what a lot of these are. If they're not exactly the same, just rebranded, a lot of them are the same molds, but the carbon layups are a little bit different because they're being done in different places or whatever. Interesting that I think this is Ian Garrison from Legion setting pace. I I know that they're going to be all in for Ty Magner at Athens. Ty Magner is from Athens, and I think that might be why they're calling in the troops, calling in the reserves after this weekend is done. Yeah, Joe, those hubs are pretty common across a bunch of the different Chinese rims. You can also get the ICANN built with DT Swiss if you want. It's like 100 more bucks a wheel or something like that, but you can get the ICANN rims laced to DT Swiss wheels, DT Swiss hubs if you want to make that upgrade. We got a little move here. Caribbean champion. That's Joshua Kelly, Caribbean champion jersey. Thank you. The main feed has cleared that up for me. But I believe he's on Blazers. I think I'm seeing one of those murdered out black Canyon bikes, and that's what he's on. Still not sure who this Velo Brew rider is. Don't think it's Owen Schott. It's definitely not. It's definitely not Matt Govero because he was racing earlier today. I don't know exactly what my FTP is right now because I broke my hand 2 weeks ago. It's probably gone down some since then, but it was 294 last I tested it, and I was weighing about 61 and a half kilos, so like 4 point something, 7, something like that. I'm not really a big FTP guy though. I do a lot better with repeatable anaerobic power. Thanks. Yeah, I've been racing for about 10 years, training pretty consistently. Forrest Howard for Velobrew. Okay, this is a guy I don't know from Velobrew, but Velobrew has a lot of strong guys. I think like Matt Govero from Mississippi, I was talking about him yesterday. He's super strong, and on this team, functional threshold power, Garza. Theoretically, the power that you could hold for 1 solid hour. Yeah, agreed. It's like a good benchmark for where you're at, but it's not the end all be all of metrics. I've raced better with a 260 FTP than I have with a 290 FTP. Part of that is racing smart, and part of that was better anaerobic repeatability or better heat adaptation or a bunch of other stuff. Automatic does not have a bike sponsor to my knowledge. I think they're all on different, whatever they're riding. I think a couple of them have Cervelos. I think that Gibbons is on a Giant, whatever the Giant aero bike is now. I think um it's hard to tell. It's like royal blue with black branding. But yeah, I don't think they have a bike sponsor. Abus Helmets is their big gear sponsor, but outside of that, I think they're just just freestyling it. Yeah, so that Canyon Joshua Kelly on that Canyon bike for Blazers. So it seems like Blazers is trying to do something a little different, send someone up the road. Maybe they are sponsored by Factor. If they are, then maybe like everybody hasn't gotten their team bikes for this year or something like that. Because I've seen some inconsistent bikes, but it's also pretty early, and I know supply chain stuff is iffy. There's some World Tour teams that are not on sponsor correct group sets, so God knows that crit teams, even with decent sponsorship, are probably having trouble getting stuff. Looks like this move is coming back. So the question now is, do we see a counterattack? This would be. Looks like we got Garrison from Legion bringing it back, and two guys from Blazers right there, ready to set pace, maybe ready to counter right when he gets brought back. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember Propel model name, but I knew it was the giant aero bike. These guys are not giving up. They're continuing to push pretty hard. Kudos to Forrest Howard. Yeah, all it would take here literally is if Ian Garrison from Legion tries to swing, that's Ian Garrison around the corner. If he swings off, those two guys from Blazers behind him are not going to pull through. So this gap could go back out. It's really close, but the composition and shape of this group, it could go the other way really quickly if these guys continue pedaling and if Ian Garrison throws in the towel. We have had a ton of attrition off the back, like I thought we might. This group is looking smaller and smaller and smaller every time they come around. This course looks dark. I'm glad that it's well lit in that one hairy turn, but it is looking pretty dark in some spaces. Not quite as dark as my race at the night race at Mobile last year, where I raced with a lot of the NGCA guys here. But whew, Um, I don't think that's a carbon wheel thing, Joe. I think that's probably just the depth. Some of that is just the fact that they're aero optimized for that mid 20. Oh, here we go again. Wow. Okay. We got he's going straight back to the front. The SoFlo Sebastian Cano for SoFlo Racing been super aggressive tonight. Looks like he's really looking to make something out of tonight. We haven't seen much from Frank Travieso. Surprised we haven't seen him at the front. He won this race last year. I think he's still here. Looks like we got somebody from the Emmanuel Iberi second bike team also up here making the junction. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that. Nope, that kit looks similar to the national championship kit that Joshua Kelly is in. Man, Ian Garrison has just welded this back together, but he's stuck here. If he quits pedaling, he can't do the thing where you bring the gap back and then you pull off, because if he pulls off, there are two Blazers riders behind him that are going to sit up. David, I think probably the only team that is that well funded is Legion, and I think Legion probably has double the budget of any other team. I think they have about 10 times the budget of like an automatic. I don't know about Blazers. It seems like Blazers and Best Buddies are headed that way. I know a lot of the guys on Best Buddies do have other jobs though. So I think it's really just Legion that's like full time bike racing only is those guys' jobs, and I think that's why guys like Ian Garrison, who just pulled that move back, he was on Quick Step last season, but he's probably making similar money being like the lowest tier guy on Quickstep as he is being on Legion, which is probably the best funded like American crit team. But he gets to live in America where he speaks the language and has a little bit more opportunity to like show out in front of the home crowd. Like he's from Georgia and he's getting to race in Georgia right now. So I think that's probably preferable to being, cannon fodder for Quickstep doing the donkey work and never really getting to show himself. All right, we got a points preem on the next lap. So we'll see if that heats it up at all. It does seem like this OCC rider, someone gave me this rider's name and team name. It's way up there in the chat. Seems like he's setting up for the front. He doesn't necessarily want to be right on the front. He's looking back like, I want these points, but I don't want to be up here yet. Let's see who goes for the points. That's going to be illustrative of who wants the overall. And 6 laps to go. We're really close to the end here. And we could see someone go for the preem and then either, say Blazers is setting it up. They got 2 riders on the front. Neither of those are Clever Martinez. It looks like that's Connor Saley and someone else. Oh, Clever is back there. He was 3rd, 4th wheel. So Clever may be going for it. We got Ian Garrison up there. That was someone from Emmanuel Eberry, 2nd bike in the white kit, blue helmet. All right, let's see who goes for this preem. And then this could be one of those things where someone goes for the preem and then continues to just ride through. Clever Martinez got it. He was 4th wheel. That seems like about where you want to be coming out of that corner. Martinez, Hernandez, Garrison, Padilla, Brock Mason. Brock Mason from Atlanta is getting after it today. Oh, ICANN is not skin suits. ICANN is carbon wheels. I would say, I mean, if you're not on a team or anything and you're looking for like an unbranded skin suit that is pretty fast, yeah, Ben, that is who the white kits with the blue helmets that we weren't sure who they were. That's Emmanuel Eberry presented by Second Bike. Pretty sure they're Puerto Rican based. They're definitely a South American team, and that's why we didn't know who they were. But yeah, D Perks. If you're looking for a skin suit and you're not looking for something like team branded or whatever, the Starlight Apparel speed suit is a pretty good, like pretty fast, pretty cheap option. I would say take a look at that one. They've got I think they call it a road suit or something, but they make like a TT skin suit that's got some pockets on the back. And that's what I race in all the time. I run a skin suit with pockets on it, unless it's going to be like more than 5 hours and I've got to carry everything because there's no feeds or something. Ian Garrison back on the front, doing the work, fresh off the world tour. I wonder if he's setting it up for Magner. I wonder if Magner wants to go for the sprint. Magner's been knocking on the door. I wouldn't even say he's been knocking on the door of a big result. He's had big results. He has been top 10 consistently in like every major race that he's had a chance to go for. He's so consistent, so good, hasn't had a win. Gibbons is kind of the same way. We haven't seen a lot from Gibbons tonight. I don't know if he's cooked from the effort yesterday. He did a solo effort to get across to that break, and then sprinted for second out of it. Maybe he's just trying a different strategy and trying to really keep his powder dry, but I'm not seeing a lot of automatic jerseys here. So I don't know. Maybe the hill is taking it out of him. Gibbons normally deals with a hill like this. This isn't a big hill. This isn't like an Athens level hill or anything, but there is a hill between turns 3 and 4, and Gibbons normally deals with a hill. That's him. Okay, that's Gibbons kind of mid pack in this group here. 3 laps to go. Doesn't look like he's got any backup. I'm not seeing. Looks like Aldo's back behind him. Looks like all the other dudes from his team were back behind him. So I thought maybe they were saving their bullets to set him up in the finale. If that was what they were going for, they've maybe gotten a little bit caught out. It looks like Blazers is maybe trying to take on that Legion role of sitting deep and setting a hard pace for the last several laps. Ooh, all right, we got Best Buddies sending somebody over the top of the Blazers train, but I don't think that's going to do anything. I think Blazers is going to keep it. Yep. Hernandez is leading there. Blazers doesn't have a solid unbroken train. They've gotten a little bit infiltrated there. I think I saw one Legion rider in the middle of their train, one more Best Buddies rider. I'm gonna assume that that's Alfredo Rodriguez. Okay, we got a Gambler Preem. So the Gambler Preem is Preem on the lap before the finish lap, and it's generally a lot of money. And it's a Gambler Preem because you're really risking your race by going for a Preem this late in the race. Ian Garrison is up here doing the Legion thing, even though it's just him and just keeping it fast. He's certainly got the power to keep it fast enough for 2 laps that no one can come over the top of him. Looks like Brock Mason is moving up in a pretty good position. Looks like if anybody saw, there's a really good handlebar cam of Thomas Gibbons from last night. Go check out Thomas Gibbons' Instagram. But the way he moved up in the last lap was insane. It was awesome to watch. Um, he's so good. He is so good at freelancing in these finishes. All right, here we go. Gambler Preem. Is anybody even going for the Gambler Preem, or are they just one to go? Looks like Hernandez gets the Gambler Preem, but I don't think he's even going for the Preem. I think he's just trying to set up the sprint. Butcher Box once again totally shut out. I don't see them really getting anything. I think their best place guy is way back there beyond the top 10. Hernandez, 2 Blazers riders behind him. Trying to see who is. All right, where's Gibbons? Where is Clever? Clever is looking really well placed. You can see him with that flashing red light on the camera. That's Clever Martinez. Whew, in great position. Second wheel, such a spicy move. He just split that train. Did you guys see that? Clever Martinez coming up the hill, turn 4. This might be Martinez. This might be it. This might be the big win he's been looking for. Gibbons is too far back. He's caught out. It's a long gallop to the line, but super spicy move from Clever Martinez. Clever Martinez. He got it. He got the win. Ooh, Brock Mason, 6th. Whoa. All right, I'm getting rid of the chat for a second so we can take a look at these results. Clever Martinez, Brian Gomez. Where was Rodriguez? Okay, Rodriguez was 3rd, so he's going to hold on to those points because he got 3rd and Gibbons got 7th. Huge finish from Brock Mason. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, Clever Martinez, he's been knocking on the door for a while. My prediction was that he would get a win this week and Gibbons would get a win this week. So the midweek races, they're not going to have streams for. We will see what the deal is with the midweek races. I guess I'll just keep an eye on the results, and I will try to watch the races next weekend. I don't know what is going to be going on in my life next weekend, but hopefully I'll be able to watch them. Johnny Brown down in 20th, Fergus Arthur from Texas Roadhouse is in 19th. I keep mentioning him. I swear, one of these races, he's going to get in the right move. And I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not saying he's going to be dominant, but I just think he's going to have a good top 5, top 10 result. I think the story of the night, though, is Brock Mason from Atlanta. Home race for him. He's on Flickr Hub Bikes, which is a smaller, more local team, with a 6th place in that race. Huge. Made the break yesterday. 6th place in this race. Maybe one of the most underrated racers on the scene right now. Clay from our team was talking about how good he is at Birmingham Hammerfest, and so I kind of had the inside scoop on him and see him racing around in the local scene. But yeah, huge result for that dude. I'm saying that's kind of, other than Clever Martinez finally getting the big win in a big race. That is the big story of the night. All right, we'll see how that shakes up the points. I will maybe I'll make a post. Hey, follow, subscribe to the YouTube, all that stuff. If you subscribe to the YouTube, I will make a post on my YouTube later this week about what is going on with the results and stuff. Yeah, that last lap move on his helmet cam footage is going to be awesome. Martinez wasn't live streaming, was he? Man, that would be awesome. If Martinez is live streaming, I need to like pull his live stream into this and like flip over to that occasionally. That would be awesome. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I guess I'm gonna get out of here. It looks like we got a big emotional win for Blazers. This I think is their first big win. So congrats to those guys. They've been second fiddle to Legion a lot. Finally pulled one out. So yeah, see you guys next time. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. See you guys Saturday, I guess. I think is the next stream. Midweek races don't have a stream, but I'll keep up with the results